Okay. So again, my name is Celia Ramirez. This is my father, Rosendo Ramirez, also known as Chendo. And then these are some of our club members. There's more of us, but this is what we have today. So basically, like I was telling the other school, this started almost four years ago. My father, we lost a brother at 19. And my dad had a really hard time dealing with his death, and he was going downhill. He was really depressed, and he didn't know what to do. And it got to the point to where he almost took his own life because of the depression being so bad. And like I was telling the other class, there was 9 of us, one that we had to bury. But when we all met up, he had called me one day and asked to meet up because he was really depressed. And so we all met up, and he just broke down, and he told us that he didn't want to live anymore. And so we all cried and asked him, like, well, what about us? And he, at the time when you're depressed like that, nothing else matters. Like, to him, it was like, we'll be okay. He wants to go be with his son. And so we wanted to try to reach out wanted to try to help him. So we reached out to, we went to a hospital at first, and they gave us some information to reach out to some families, which were parents and brothers and sisters that meet up every month and discuss like how they lost their loved ones and try to like lift each other up and whatnot. And so he gained some friends that way, exchange numbers and whatnot. When he was having bad days, he would call them. When they were having bad days, they would call him, and that kind of helped out. His biggest thing he didn't want to do was get put on medicine. That was what he was trying to avoid. So he was trying to just do it all himself. So that helped, and he gained a lot of friends and a lot of friends and whatnot. But it was almost like he needed something more. He was still struggling. He would just have his days. And so he called me up one day and asked me he told me he wanted to start a bike club. And so he asked me to get on Facebook and to set up a meeting. And so I did that, and so we set up a meeting, and different men and women came, and he kind of just discussed what he wanted to do. So basically what he wanted to do was try to find a way to do benefits and whatnot to help other people. So it wasn't easy for him to start this up. But I don't know, like, you guys are too young to know, but you can't just go out and start up a bike club. And he had to go through some different things to be able to do this. So as time went on, he was luckily able to start it up, and then we had to figure out our first family that we wanted to help. So I thought of my friend. She has a daughter that's been sick her whole life, and she's in and out of hospitals. So I called her and I said, sorry, it's okay. And oh, you're fine.
Is that lunch?
And so I told her what we were trying to do, and she didn't need the help, but I told her, we need a family to help out. I knew that her daughter had to go to Cleveland a lot when she would get really sick, so I told her, just use the money towards your hotels when you have to go and take her there. And so that's where we started our very first benefit. And as time went on, we just got bigger and bigger. A lot of people started hearing about us, and I'm sure some of you guys seen us out on the road before, because we ride a lot in the east side especially. And just a lot of families started reaching out to us like, oh, I have a son that's sick, he's not going to make it, I don't know how I'm going to pay for my funeral. Or like I said, there was a guy that was blind that he wanted a mail reader, so we actually had a benefit to buy him up so he could buy his mail reader. Just different things. And we just started growing. We didn't have a bar at first. We would run out of one of his friends' bars, and then my family ended up opening up a bar which is called Homeboys Sports Bar and Grill, which was over it's on Main Street between the Vito's parking lot and the car wash. Yeah. So it's a bar and we serve food. So, that helped us out a lot because we were able to have our benefits there instead of trying to find different places to pay because, you know, the less that we have to pay, the better for us because the more we can help our family. So we do different events. We, like I told your teacher, we try to do as much as we can. We have like Halloween where the kids can come. We have the bikers lined up, and we also reach out to other bike clubs, and they line up and they fill their little packs with candy, and the kids will come and dress up and whatnot, and then we'll have food and cider and stuff inside. We have our coat drive, which is one of our biggest events, where we reach out to families that are in need, and basically they register their child for a free winter coat, and then we have a day that we give out the coats to the kids. The families will bring the coats, and then, you know, we just hang out with them and get to know them and whatnot. But we do pretty much whatever we can. And actually, your teacher's gonna make some flyers up, but December 22nd, we are having an event where we're gonna have free haircuts. We have some barbers right now. We're trying to get women. They're gonna do nails for like young girls, just to kind of help people out that aren't able to, you know, afford to get a haircut maybe for the holidays. Just something nice. And then we're gonna also be giving out our coats, and then what coats we have left, we'll distribute them to people if there's still other people that need them. But yeah, so basically the whole reason of starting this club was because it was helping. He knew it would help him. He realized like all the help that we had. When my brother passed, we didn't have insurance. He didn't have any insurance. He was 19 years old, you know. This is something we didn't expect. It was just like, what are we gonna do, you know? And when that happens, you wanna be able to give your family member something nice. Like it's already hard enough dealing with it, but you wanna give them the best funeral as possible, and it's expensive. And so we struggled, like, okay, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? He only had so much money. We only had so much money. So we ended up having to take a loan out. And so, about a month later, we actually had a benefit to try to pay the loan off, and whatever money, if we had any money left over, it would go towards his headstone. So, we actually had like a great turnout. My dad has so many friends. I mean, he's been playing softball since he was a little boy. Yeah, he was little. And that's kind of how he started to get to know people, because we would travel a lot. And actually, a few of these guys is the reason softball is one of the reasons how he met them. And so we would travel and whatnot and meet other people, and that's how the Homeboys name started. It was actually from a softball team, and then he started the bike club, and now we have dart ball team. Actually just started up a car club, which does the same thing. They're just now starting up with us. It's Homeboys car club, but we're all kind of connected, you know. And so the name just, you guys, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the Homeboys or the Homeboys name out there, but it all stems down to because of when my brother passed away. He thought back on all the help and support that he got and that he still gets to this day, and he said, I want to do something to help other people, because it was hard for us to pay for his funeral. So now we're able to help others. We've actually just were able to raise enough money to pay for a little boy named Dalton's funeral, which it's been a little while, but it was an ongoing thing, and we were able to help that family. So they knew he was going to pass away, but we kind of went out and did what we could to help to get the burden off of them, so they could focus on spending their last days with their son. So we were able to do that, and just different things. And so basically, your teacher reached out to us because she told us, you know, for one, I just want to say, like, she obviously cares a lot about you guys, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have spent her own time on coming out to our facility and reaching out to us. She took her time outside of school and came and talked to my dad, but she's been wanting to talk to him about coming in here and talking to you guys. So just know, like, if you guys need anything, obviously she's here to help you. So take advantage of that. You know, I know a lot of you guys are, I'm sure a lot of your families, I mean, we've all have had our struggles, and if there's anything that we can do, like I told the last class, we're located over, it's 502 Main Street, which, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know where the Vito's and the car wash is, but if not, we could get you information. If there's anything that you guys ever need, you guys need help with, or your parents are having a hard time financially, anything, like, you guys can come to us and we'll try to do what we can to help you. Don't ever be embarrassed to ask for help, because at one point in life, we're all gonna need it. We've all needed it, you know, and we don't judge you guys. We honestly are just here to help. This helps my dad get through his days, as far as, you know, my brother being gone. So, another thing I was telling your teacher that I personally am gonna try to focus on here coming up this upcoming year is the bullying that's going on right now in these schools. And I know you guys, some of you guys in here are probably getting bullied yourselves, and I know you guys see it all the time, but my thing is just like, I mean, it's awful seeing like these kids taking their lives. We actually helped a family, their son took his life, I don't know, maybe was it like 6 months ago, and we actually went and had to clean out the little boy's room and everything, because the parents were struggling to I mean, just be in the house. I mean, we'll do whatever we can, and it was just hard, like, seeing like all these families and these parents and these moms. I've had moms and dads just cry to me and tell me their story, and like, the bullying is so bad right now, and you guys, like, you maybe, if you're not getting bullied, you just think, oh, whatever. But if you guys see something like that going on, like, talk to your teacher, talk to somebody, step in, because like, you never know what these kids are going through. You know, there's kids that you might not think, because they come to school and they try to act tough, like they don't want you to see it, because they don't want to get picked on even more. So, and then they end up going home and taking their lives, and like, it's so hard seeing your parents lose a child and see the struggle, that the hurt that they have to deal with. I mean, when I seen my dad go through his depression, he was staying with me at the time, and it was hard, and I actually had lost my boyfriend a month before my brother, a month and 4 days before my brother, and I was going through it myself. And when my brother passed away, I mean, the first thing that came to my head was my dad, he's not going to be able to handle this. I reached out to, first thing I did was call my family in Texas, because we have a lot of, I have a lot of aunts and uncles in Texas. Like, you guys need to get here, my dad's not going to be able to handle this. And I didn't even, my focus was on my father, because I love my father. Like, my dad, he's been there for me since day one. I mean, you know, unfortunately, I didn't have the best mother growing up. She was involved in drugs and whatnot, and they split up after a while, and my dad took all of us in. But I've had a hard life. I mean, the first year that my parents split up, I was living with my mom, and my mom had me and my brother and sisters living in a garage. I remember times where my mom took me to houses to pick up drugs while we sat out in the car in these rough neighborhoods. You know, I've had a hard life too, and I could have chose to like follow that path and like, oh, have all this hate and whatnot, but you know, I didn't. Luckily I had my dad to guide me to a better path, and you know, and it was hard. I had a son when I was young, you know, and I struggled, but I just kept pushing and pushing, and you know, I love being able to help as much as I can. I struggle still to this day, but I still I go to work, I work my butt off, I work a lot of hours, and I take when I'm not working, I come and I help my dad, I help the car club, I do whatever I can, because it just makes me feel good, and knowing that I'm able to help someone, even if it's only one person, then I feel good. So, you know, you guys just I don't know how to, I'm kind of probably all over the place, but I'm just focus on staying in school, listen to your parents, and if you see them struggling, help them. Like, you guys have no idea, like, how hard it is to watch, unless you've been there. Some of you may have, to watch your parent struggle, and, you know, it ate me up inside. And so I do what I do because I know that it helps my dad, and I love my dad, and I respect my dad. And there's times where maybe I didn't agree with him, and I got in trouble and whatnot, but at the end of the day, that's my father. And when things happen in life, when you guys get in trouble, a lot of times your friends aren't gonna be there. You're gonna have to turn to your family, because at the end of the day, that's who is there to support you. So, you know, like, I just wanna say, like, good for you for doing this, because even some of you guys might not care what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, even if I can just help one of you, like, that's all that I care about. But if you guys ever need anything, please, like, don't be scared of us. We're not bad people. I know the last class kind of wanted to know the difference between our bike club and like a gang bike club. We're not nothing like that. We're charity. That's all we want to do is help. We do not judge you. There's people on the street constantly, every day, that are walking up and down the street. They might be involved in drugs, they might be an alcoholic. He sees them, and you know what he does? He says, hey, you want something to eat, or come in here and help me clean something up, I'll give you a couple bucks. He doesn't judge anybody. And that's how they all are. Like, they're all here to help you guys with anything. If you guys are getting picked on, come and talk to us. We'll do whatever we can. We're all family, and we'll take you guys in as family. So at the end of sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but I just want you guys to know, truly know, that we are here for you guys. You know, I don't know any of you, I've never met any of you, but if you came to the clubhouse and said, look, I need your help, you can talk to me about anything, and I promise I'll do whatever I can to help you, and so will they. So you guys have any questions or anything like that?
I'm gonna remind them that you're giving them free haircuts,
Yeah.
so that was one reason. Also, that you matter. Do you hear all those words?
Yeah.
You matter. I'm trying to constantly remind you guys how much the community around you cares, right? I don't care if you're not feeling it and believing it at home, you know here. Miss Gaddis is a councilwoman for Toledo. She's here telling them, reminding with me all the time, we have to work as a community to be together.
Yeah.
And then, taking that pride in themselves, remember to move forward and pay it back. And if anybody knows that I can help you get the information, if you can't find them, or if you can, she mentioned before, they're on Facebook under the Homeboys, okay, but you know I know them too, alright? Also means that I know them, I might have some of them stay, just stick around for a while, because even if they're not scary, I think they're tough. What do you think, Josh? You have a question?
Yes.
Okay,
What are all the names?
oh, he wants your names.
My name is Chandru.
Big Moose. Leon. Rand.
Ron.
I could see it on his shirt. I was looking.
Yeah, some of them have these other club names that are on the
Okay,
back.
that's from their club, so you can see it says Lisa. Original, I think. I like it. Oh, you like that look? You didn't try for that? Yeah? Okay. We'll let them know.
What's your question?
This says original.
When the first line started, the club.
Wait, do you have to have a motorcycle to be?
Yeah.
So you can't just walk there and say I'm gonna be in the club, you don't have to be a hard worker.
You gotta have a bike, but there were some time, like, we've had people that came and they didn't have a bike, but they really wanted to join the club, and we were able to reach out and try to find a bike. We were able to find bikes for some of our club members, and so now they are in our club because of that.
What if you don't know how to ride a bike?
They'll teach you.
You learn.
Right, Mike didn't know how to ride a bike when he started, and a couple of the members went out one day. He got on his bike, and they all taught him, and they sat there and watched him.
But what if you go too fast, like hit the road?
Like we got
training wheels.
we got a new one here. My nephew just got in yesterday. He's got a bike. He don't know how to ride it, but he will before the summer starts. Before we start riding.
You don't know how to stop.
David, stop. Alright, we did it, he said, but we're under 21, so we can't come in. He's mentioning it.
Come
So
in.
on open events like the benefit.
They can come in. They
They
stay
can
till.
come in during the day.
Yeah, till 9 o'clock.
During the day, if they're there to
Night.
eat something, they are there, you can come in.
Yeah, it's actually, it's a bar and grill, so we have a lot of people that come in with their kids. But yeah, kids are allowed there until 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully you guys wouldn't be out super late, but they're always gonna, there's bikers standing outside, and, I mean, if you really wanna talk to one of them, someone will be there. Go.
Do you guys get pulled over by the cops a lot?
No,
No, we don't get
never.
I usually watch one of those videos on YouTube where, motorcycle people would get pulled over by the cop, right? And the motorcycle people would know they're right and like make fun of the cop or something like that.
No, we don't have any.
Because they're in this area, the police know the good that they're doing in the community. They work with the police sometimes.
Yeah.
So they're very well known in the community. If you
And
don't
he
like
has a
it,
lot of friends
then
that are
you'll-
actually police
So I'm sure
officers.
that that helps. Profiling is a thing, but I'm sure it helps
Yeah,
if
it
they have
is.
the right name.
My question is, riding a motorcycle and riding a dirt bike like the same thing?
No,
It's the same thing, but you can't ride a dirt bike on the streets.
Same skills?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is actually. I don't know how to ride.
On the 22nd, we're giving out free haircuts, and we're looking for somebody to let's say that, the first one that gets a haircut, we'll give like $500, and I was wondering if you can do it.
Keith, he wants to know.
Heck no.
We wanna cut your hair.
No, he's back.
I'm down.
You like that long hair, huh?
It's just like, wait.
Yeah, I know.
My son used to have that same haircut. And
What time is,
Oh, what time haircut? 10 o'clock, is it? 10 o'clock?
10 till 4, 5.
Okay.
You guys know, the barber shop, on Jamal's barber shop?
You know that place, right?
You know where it's at? Well, they're actually working with us, cause we're good friends with Jamal. We grew up, like my dad and his parents knew each other really well, and you know that's how we got to know Jamal and them. But we're kind of working together, so those barbers will be there for sure. And then we have people that we're reaching out to outside of that barber shop, and then also women, because we want to be able to do, if we can do little girls' haircuts too, but nails and stuff like that.
So I'll definitely get them the
Yeah,
information.
she's gonna get the flyer for you guys.
And the biggest thing is to make sure and let everyone know that the Homeboys are helping us out, and they are looking forward to what they can do in the future with us too, okay? They've already said that they'll help us, and they'll be there for us, and they're giving free haircuts to these kids, right? So think about how they're giving back. No one's paying them right now. A lot of them work night shift, a lot of them have to go into work when they leave. They're here volunteering their time because they care. And I need you to make sure you get that through your head too. I'm always telling you that this community on the east side takes care of each other, and it matters, and you matter. So I need you to see this. I'm not the only one saying that. You see these big strong guys saying, yeah,
There's a lot
that's
of
true.
people out
Or
there.
Celia who's super tough too, saying, yes, that's true. So you better be thinking about that all the time.
Even like, I mean, yeah, we're doing haircuts, but I mean, we'll help with anything, clothes, shoes, like, we've helped a little boy that was, actually, my dad took someone in his house. But, whatever we can help with, like, and whatever you guys need help with, come to us, and we'll try to do what we can.
Mia?
What if you can't get out of the house much?
Oh, you mean you're worried about getting there on the 22nd?
No, it's just like, I know there are some people that like, their parents make them stay at home or like their parents don't travel. Like,
We
they
can
don't-
we can help. You wanna get there though? Or you wanna go places? We'll work it out. Me and I will talk that out. We'll narrow that down, what that means.
Yeah,
We'll
she's
get you
got,
something.
she has your teacher has our phone number, so like, even if you wanna, if you're saying like, if you can't get out, you need to just call somebody and talk to them, I mean, there's a way that she can get a hold of us too.
Do the people name you or you pick your own?
Sometimes we pick it for them, they don't have one. Might
Like,
be
so if I want to join the club, I'll name myself Little Caesar. Under my middle name.
Hey, whatever you nickname is, man, that's what you like.
Sorry. What was that?
Up there.
Vikings.
They're under the table.
He's asking how you're allowed to work underage.
Done. Oh, he means because of underage. So we have recently been talking about how they're gonna try and build their credit and be able to have good credit to make purchases and how they have to have a job to start making money. We taught them about simple interest loans and about credit, just a little. We're gonna end up, First Federal, like I said, gave us the chairs. They're gonna come do a parent information night on finances. And we're gonna go back to it soon, but like they were so worried about how if they don't have credit cards, they can build their credit, which is a true problem in today's
Right.
society. Like you can't just walk in. I told them I had my grandma's house, I had the money from that, and I was just gonna walk in with the bank and be like, here, I wanna put down payment, and they need to know where it came from and what it was. You gotta keep it in the bank, you can't just say it was in my mattress or, I mean, it's crazy where it goes, but if I didn't know, cause my parents didn't know, and a lot of them don't know because their parents didn't know. So he was wondering about earning money.
Oh, earning money.
And at what age you can start? Some of them.
Well, I know there is a
"When can I start
law.
working?"
Yeah, I think at the bar, you have to be a certain age, but I will tell you this, if you guys are really serious about trying maybe to find like a summer job or something, even if, you could at one point try and talk to one of us, and a lot of guys too have their own businesses, like that they can maybe help give you a little job to earn money, so.
Some of them do that. Some of mine,
Yeah.
I do have entrepreneurs in there, for sure.
Yeah, I wanna get a summer job. One thing I do is play Fortnite. I need summer.
Are we asking any more questions? Are we gonna say thank you? Did anybody else like, come on, I know you got a few words. I remember you just keep being so long in the back. Yeah. Anything? Anybody else? I want
You're
to
always
thank you
welcome.
from the bottom of my heart.
You're always welcome to, get in touch with me.
You come
I
out.
met, I met your teacher a while back because I used to talk to kids about violence.
His daughter actually went to school with my oldest.
Yeah, so when I don't know how many years ago that was, that she still remembers me, but it was almost 20 years ago that I was shot a couple of times, so I would come out and talk with the kids. So if you ever wanna talk to your teacher about having me come back, that's more than welcome. Celia knows how to get a hold of me. But this is about the Homeboys, and the Homeboys are a charity group, and like I emphasized to the other group, I know that you guys talk about, that you guys are aware of gangs and things, and there's a big difference between what Chendo has organized. It's a club of helping. This is not a club of violence. You know, and there are some motorcycle clubs that have a different path in life than what he has chose for us. You know, so it is a helping group. So just make sure that you guys know that about us. But if your teachers if you ever wanna know more about my story, you're welcome to have her get in touch with Celia, and I'll make time, but I do work first shift. Today is my day off, so
Look at this, see?
I came in
This is
to
how much
help
they
out
care and
Chandler,
how
so
kind they are.
I don't mind taking another day off to talk to you guys about things, so that's at your, that's up on the table for you if you ever need it.
I just know that you have, a good message of knowing that they're individuals.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to take up your whole time.
It could be tough. All right, we're good, we just thank you, I wanna make sure, yeah, David, you're cut off. No, sorry. I need at least one picture of everybody. And then, thank you so much, and we'll definitely work on building more in the future. With them coming
Or three, we gonna get them.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. The car just like clapping.